Hey y'all, welcome to the filling station. So in this video, we are looking at Tesla. It's been an interesting morning thus far in the market. So I wanted to point out some levels with Tesla, but first y'all let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only, but if you could please like, share, comment, subscribe. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at Tesla. And again, I like to start on the 30-minute chart, but I wanted to point something out really quick. We're in this view only because Tesla came down. It was an inside day candle, and I did give the target for that at 327.44. Tesla normally exceeds the target in the ATR, all of the above, right? So what's interesting about Tesla is I had the 5 EMA on the daily chart marked. That's the blue line here. We broke through that level only to, had another level of 321.75. Looks like we broke through that level only to come to this 321.21. Looks like we bounced from this level, even though the low of this candle here is 320.40. Look how close it is to an area that I had marked here at the 320.30. I say so often, y'all, that is why it's so important that we mark our support and our resistance. Now, what's interesting and something I need to pay very close attention to is this level I'm about to mark right here. Again, the 30-minute chart. This gave us a double bottom, even though this candle has yet to close. Right now, it looks as if it's going to give us a double bottom. But look at all of those areas of resistance that we have already broken back to or through. And we are above the 5 EMA on the daily chart. So that is interesting. And just know that we have a few more hours. Again, the market just opened not long ago, right? So trouble places to Tesla. I would like to see it back to the upside above the 325, which will be kind of like where the 30-minute chart where the 50 EMA is. So if we can get back above that, just know that we could possibly again have trouble 326.42. 327.44 again here at 328.35, 329.15. Those are some areas there. What will be interesting is getting us back to that 5 EMA here on this 30-minute chart, which is around the 330.38 area. Is it possible with Tesla? It very well is. Let me say that. Should we break that 338.38 area, we could possibly have trouble 390.81, did I say 390? 330.91, rephrase that, 331.39, and the ATR trailing stop is around the 332.34. So I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart for Tesla. This is the 5-minute chart, and I like to say, it even with the decline that we just had, because I think we opened around the 340 area and only to come back down to this 321, but it gave us signal here that we were gonna, this gathering spot, especially if I came down and I was in a nice trade. I always say don't overstay your welcome, be grateful and not greedy, because this would definitely be one of those cases where we found support, and just because it came down does not mean it's going to continue to the downside. This area 321.47 is a support area. It gave us a signal here, the gathering spot, right? So if you were on the downside, this is my chance to get back, out of my, lock in some profits. Let's say that, lock in some profits. But we were under the 5 EMA. Now we're going back to being above the 5 EMA. But look what the MACD did here, right? So it's giving us a signal. It's trying to cross on this 5-minute chart. So are we going to go back to the upside, or are we going to get rejected on these levels here and make our way back to the downside? So we wait on confirmation before we enter the trade, meaning we're making the higher highs. I like to see 3 higher highs. Again, I like to see that 5 and 50 crossing, but I needed to be separated a little bit more. Did I say 5 and 50? I meant the MACD. I like it to be separated a little bit more. So those two things will be confirmation for me. So I'm going to zoom out really quick because I wanted to point out something with Tesla. This is Tesla on the 5-minute chart, and you see I have all of these alerts set. That is for me to let me know that Tesla has broken through some layers or levels of support. So again, it excuse me, it was an inside day candle. Does that mean even though we've reached the target to the downside that we can't come all the way back up here to the 342? Tesla does what Tesla does. What's interesting is marking your levels and knowing where you could possibly have trouble. Keep in mind, this is one of those cases here, riding the 5. That would definitely be a situation of coming, at the open. Let me see if I can fix that. At the open right here, we had this crossing here to the downside. So if you got in, right at the open, that was a really, really nice trade. 340 all the way down to 320, I believe it was the low. 320.40, that's a nice trade. Now, if you're trying to take it back to the upside, I would definitely be careful and watch those levels. In my opinion, just know we could always use the moving averages, which is the pink line VWAP, or the red line, which is the 20 EMA, or we can use the ATR trailing stop. Those are areas that's going to let us know that where we could possibly have trouble. And as you can see, y'all see that 20 EMA is right at a level that I have marked. That VWAP here, it's kind of crossing at this area, so definitely need to watch around that 328.91 area for Tesla. Just keep in mind, y'all, it is so important that we mark our levels of support and our resistance. So if you're trading Tesla today, that doesn't mean that you can't take it back to the upside. It's just making sure that you wait on your confirmation. Now, looking at it from this view, I'm going to go back out because I was able to see at the bottom that MACD looks like it wants to cross back up, but we have to still make sure that we have confirmation and allowing it to show you or tell you what it wants to do, because this could very well be a bear flag. We can mark some levels here and make a flag out of it, meaning we can continue to the downside. So don't rush into your trades. Make sure that you understand what's going on. Try to put your puzzle together bit by bit, and making sure that you understand, is this going to give us, I'm going to mark this here, is this going to be a bear flag? We can start here and connect at least 2 points is what I like to do, right? So is this going to be a bear flag for us? And that's something that I need to watch. So normally what I would do is set an alert to let me know, if Tesla is under these levels here, that we could very well be making our way back to the downside. That's not guaranteed. I'm just saying it could very well break out of this and continue moving up. If it is a bear flag, it will give us confirmation to let us know that. If it is not, we disregard it and we play what we see, or we trade what we see. I can't say that enough. Making sure that you trade what you see. So, okay, recap. Tesla came off of a high today, only to come down, find support at this 321 area. Definitely need to watch that because we found support at this area before. And as you can see, I had the level here of 321.21. Well, it stopped at 321.47. I needed to mark that, right? Only to get back above the 5 EMA on the daily chart, which is the 322.37 area. Looks like we're still making higher highs and we are moving to the upside. So are we going to have trouble in this area here? Again, I'm going to set an alert there. Why? Because we had trouble, and I don't put it right at that place. Slightly above it, right? We had trouble at that place before, so strong possibility. Guess what? We could possibly have trouble again. So I would like to see it break this area, but just keep in mind there's going to be trouble possibly at this 325.66. Now, breaking that could be an interesting place, because here at 326.42 is another place. So we definitely need to watch. It wouldn't surprise me to see us come back up and try to regain some of that that decline that we had with Tesla. So if you are trading Tesla today, I say trade carefully, y'all. Again, this was a nice trade coming off the high of this 342 down to this 320. It seems like it's trying to move its way back to the upside. We don't know as of yet. The MACD is a little bit close. I don't like to see that. It needs to give me some type of confirmation. This would be our gathering spot. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. This is our gathering spot here. It broke out of the gathering spot. We're making higher highs, but y'all see those wicks at the top. It tells me that there's sellers in this area, so I definitely need to be careful if I am trading to the upside, because I could very well get stopped out of my trade. So that's something to be mindful of, y'all. I just wanted to come back and look at, just point out some things with Tesla today that, it was a nice move to the downside thus far. Areas back to the upside, we could very well use this area as a support and go back to the upside, or we can get rejected in this area and continue to the downside. What's important is knowing your support and your resistance and trading what you see. I don't like to predict the market. Again, I just look at the charts and see what the charts are saying. It's just like, again, y'all, putting this puzzle together one piece at a time and making sure that we understand that. So I hope these videos are very, very helpful. This is what I see when I look at the market, and I say so often, y'all, there's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging is trying to figure out the strategy or the plan that works best for you, and then having the discipline to execute that plan. So yeah, I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. Again, if you could please like, share, comment, and subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that that being said, y'all be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.